Welcome to episode 22 of Gray Area Talks Live. It is November 18th, 2025. Thank you for being here with us
Evening,
tonight.
evening.
How are you feeling, Tim?
I am a little tired, but we will get our energy up. We are good to go.
Right.
It has been an interesting day in the news cycle.
Yeah. So, when did you start hearing about the vote on the Epstein files? Because I forgot about
Early this afternoon, but I didn't even know they were taking a vote, to be honest. I just found out after the vote happened, and I didn't even find out from X. I was just on YouTube and I just saw like Fox Live and I saw counts and I'm like 427 yays. I'm like, oh, this seems like a big deal. And then when I went and did some research, I'm like, oh, this is a big deal.
Right. So we've been paying attention to that, and what that is really is a culmination of a lot of different various storylines in the GOP right wing, you could say, space of Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, where you have a situation where Trump essentially he's got to bend the knee now.
Yeah.
He's admitted, he's like,
Do you yield?
what did he say? What does he say?
He said, I've got nothing to hide, is what he
Got
said.
nothing to hide.
Even though he was stonewalling before this, but then 2 days ago he said, I got nothing to hide. And we'll read that whole post.
Yeah, we'll read the post, but essentially he appears to have at least partially conceded on this, and only one person voted nay on this proposal. It went through near unanimously.
We'll explain that too.
We'll explain that, but just real quick before we get into all of it, and we got a couple other stories to get into tonight. Do you think this just gets stopped again at the Senate? Because that's what I believe, right?
I don't think it gets stopped at the Senate. I think what happens is like, all right, you take it to Senate, you got a few more, you got days. The only reason why he's letting this happen is because they're going to redact everything. Even though you'll see, and I'll explain, they say that you can't redact certain things unless it's like, national security, secret clearance type shit. But again, you can dictate that to anything.
It's like, oh, I have to redact it all. You get it, but you have to redact it all.
Yeah,
I understand, but if it is the same story again, 2.0 as to what you described, which is what happened first when they gave everyone those binders and they go, it's all coming out, and they gave people a bunch of redacted blanked out information.
It's a bunch of carrot and stick stuff going on.
Well, it's not even real. There is no carrot and there is no stick because the whole situation it's a fantasy.
But they always find a way to get your hopes up every time. They're like, finally,
I don't know,
justice.
Well, the thing
free at last.
The thing is, they have the information, right? And yeah. I find it to be just hilarious that it's not just like, okay, it's not like you're searching for like the Da Vinci Code and this stuff. You just need the names of the dudes, right? And the women that have been at these rallies and the women that have organized with MTG and others to push for getting the files out, these women, they have accusations, they have names that they agree on. I believe it's like 20 to 40 names.
Oh, Rex, it's hard to release names, man. There's a lot of paperwork you got to go through. You got to make sure everything
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right. It's
not that easy.
Yeah, just chill out. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Actually, you're right. We need money. Netanyahu paid us 7,000. But yes, we should just let it all go, Tim, because that's the easier thing to do, and they can just be like cat turd and get angry and like support Israel all day, and that's what we can do. That's how we'll stay.
We'll all get citizenship.
Yeah. We'll all get citizenship. Global citizenship everywhere, which is what we really want. It seems to me like being the president's really cool because you can pardon people and whatnot. But imagine being able to give your buddies you're an ambassador now. They get the black passport.
That's where you get another cool diplomatic immunity. Is that what you're talking about?
Not diplomatic immunity, but you can, as the president, you're able to give certain people certain passports.
Oh, really?
Pretty cool. Yeah,
I know.
Like a diplomat or an ambassador has a different passport.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right.
There's just I was thinking about the presidency today because he really is, with all the expanded powers, he's a modern day king, and we live with King Trump now, right? And King Trump has acquiesced, and he said, fine, release the files. But it's like you say, we'll have to wait and see what that means.
He's only saying that because he knows he ain't in trouble. That's the only way I could see this really happening, because he was really quiet about this for a while.
Right, but what does that mean, not in trouble? You mean there's nothing in the files or nothing they'll release?
No, nothing that has his name attached to there. You might breadcrumb it. You might have maybe one or two names that people like, oh, how dare you? But it's probably no one important.
Okay.
I bet that's what it is. But here's the thing. If I'm that no one is important guy, best believe I'm making calls. I'm going on CNN. I'm going on Fox. I'm basically telling the whole world who I saw at Epstein's Island.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I was the only one on that Epstein file, because it's like you got ratted out and everyone else got to
But
survive.
we've seen how he's treated Ghislaine Maxwell, right?
Mm.
So she knows something, right? Because why would he be so nice to her?
Because she's at play camp now, man.
Yeah, well,
she's having fun.
She's relaxing now, and she's getting the royal treatment. But there's a reason for that. He wouldn't just move her from where she was into that place. She clearly has something on him, right?
100%.
So, I mean, ultimately, when we talk about these people, you get Marjorie Taylor Greene, who really has supported, you'll see her say this for herself, really supported and fought for and given her loyalty to Trump for like the past 5-6 years, you know?
Mm.
And Trump has called her Marjorie Trader Greene.
He's always got these like interesting names. Rhonda Santimonious.
It's lost its charm for me over the years. Now I just see it as dumb, and he's gotten dumber with them too. Now he just calls people like stupid, crazy, ugly. That's right.
Shush, piggy lady.
Yeah.
Shush.
Piggy. We'll pull that up because that's you're right. That's critical information. The people have to see that again. What do you, I don't think he said shush piggy.
He did say piggy. I heard it.
Was it shush piggy? Or?
Yeah, at the end, he was talking about Harvard, and he's like, and she started trying to say something. He's like, hush, shush piggy.
Well, just how big is this reporter?
I don't know, man. But it doesn't show the video of her. It just shows him.
They're hiding the truth. They don't want us to know the truth.
Piggy Trump.
And I said it. I said, you don't understand how large she was. That woman was big, and it was crazy. I said, people are talking about it. I mean, how does she even fit on the plane?
Okay, I'm sending it to you now.
That's a horrible Trump. I apologize, guys.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to cover the Epstein, and then we're also going to cover some of these other details surrounding the Epstein. I did a mini deep dive just to kind of like pull up other things. I know I was talking about this Black Address book. I finally found where I found the original video. It's going to be really good for you guys to watch that and see who's on that black book, and it's actually corroborated that that book is real before any of this stuff even started happening back in 2022 or something like that. So we'll do that. And then also we've got another video that covers they had the tracking the phone data, because here's the thing, every time you have a phone it pings, and there's the government systems as well as these other public systems
screaming at the cell phone tower.
Exactly. So they can track where your phone is going. So this Wired did a whole thing tracking these people. And then we actually get to see what Epstein's plane looked like that he trafficked a lot of these people on, because I was like, you know what? I don't really remember what it looked like, let alone have I ever seen photos.
You know what? And that's such a great point. I'm sure real like Epstein heads, you know, people that really like are deeply invested in knowing everything about Epstein. They know what the Lolita looks like. I didn't know. And then Tim, you pulled it up and I was like, dang. I was like, really?
It looks very cryptic, guys.
It look some real weird things are probably going on this jet,
man.
Right?
It's bad.
Yeah. Look, you know what? You could say a lot about Epstein. I guess you can say he didn't have style because it's pretty
bad.
It's pretty bad. But let's go to this video of MTG, because I know we have one video that everyone's seen that we're going to play, and it's
you want to immediately go into this?
With the victims. You know, let's see where this takes us.
All right, cool.
Now, let's see where this takes us, guys. So, Marjorie Taylor Greene on the House floor. I believe this was right before the vote. Let's watch the clip. If we can. I think we can.
I proudly rise today in a bipartisan effort to release the Epstein files finally, after 5 administrations have covered it up. Earlier today, I attended the press conference where the survivors, they're not victims, the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's sexual abuse and sex trafficking told their stories. And they told stories about how it started back in 1991, 1996, and they continued on through the decades. And they told stories about how they told someone.
You know what? And I'm just going to pause. Like, I want to go through this. They say like Epstein never trafficked anyone. Like this is what the FBI.
He did. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Tim, you're a real career man here. You know, we're headed towards a bright future because of behavior like that. You know, I need to emulate that. You know, you're right. He never existed. But seriously, right? Like we were told basically that he didn't exist and that, you know, he was a diddler and that was it. And this guy, like, you looked up how much he was worth. He was given like hundreds of millions, right? But that one
Lex
guy.
Wessner was the guy who created Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works. This guy basically gave Epstein power of attorney to
And
access
totally
to all
normal.
of to
As a
access to,
billionaire.
yeah,
Yeah.
access to all of his like money, all of his resources. He could even sell his property. We'll go into that too at some point.
So it's not like this guy was a mysterious pedophilic actor who had vast sums of money and a ton of influence. He's just he's just a guy.
Well, what he tried to say was he's like this brilliant financial advisor where like he
doesn't
was
have
a
any clients.
secretive trader who would trade exclusive hedge fund where you had to have $1 billion plus, but they didn't have any receipts for it. They never had any records that this place even existed, but it's pretty clear where he got his money from, which is Wexner.
Right. And you know, MTG, they've come after her like they've come after Massey just for simply saying like he's a real person that had influence and did these things. That
tried to get
point.
help. They told the FBI and they weren't listened to. And they told law enforcement and no one did anything. And these women don't just number a few. These women number around 1,000 women.
That's
and they
crazy.
are victims of something that's unthinkable. And this should have never, ever happened. This was the biggest fight I think I've seen in Washington, D.C. This is my 5th year here. And this was a fight that we should have never had to wage. It should have been the easiest thing for every single member of Congress.
Right. Because the American public, everyone agrees on this.
Yeah.
Everyone agrees.
Very big consensus.
That this needs to be publicly available and that the truth needs to come out and we need to know who did these things, right? And to think about it, she says 1,000 women. All right. And I know there's things with the Me Too and the whatnot, and people are kind of grumpy about that. I believe probably most of those women. You know, I'm
100%.
I'm sure there's a couple Looney Tunes that have snuck in, but like I believe that like my point is an operation that's that big that abuses hundreds of people.
That's what I was gonna say. If you see the video we see later and the amount of pings of cell phones,
right?
People,
we're gonna go to that.
I mean, you're talking hundreds of people to this one island, so it's impossible for there to not be like 10 little girls at a time, just you doing crazy shit to them.
Right. And it's like, oh, well, like we got to keep on schedule, you know, seriously though, it's
absolutely
horrible.
Insane.
Yeah, it's wild. But
it should have been the easiest thing for the Speaker of the House. It should have been the easiest thing for the President of the United States to release all the information, every single file on behalf of these American women. These American women aren't rich, powerful elites. They do not have someone paying for their airline tickets or paying for their trips or paying for their expenses every time they try to do something to get this information out.
This is president stuff. That's what I see here. You know,
she's positioning
you
herself.
never know how things will work out. Right. So like after Trump gets elected and whatnot, you know, we're thinking like JD, Rubio, like these are the people that make sense. You know, with the changing atmosphere and a real, you know, disgust that the American public and specifically the Republican GOP, just right-leaning / maybe independent base has that voted for Trump, they hate the swamp creatures. And I think that they recognize pretty much anyone in this current administration as someone who in part is responsible for the unfulfillment of their dreams and what they voted for.
So with her, I would say I don't think she gets the nomination from the Republicans. There's too big of a divide as far as the people who do like her and the people who don't and absolutely despise her. I think she gets reelected in her current position. I think the populace of the people would definitely vote her back in, but I don't know if she gets the nomination from the Republicans themselves, because that's a pretty big thing. You know, you got to get everybody to agree on that for the most part. And the president's endorsement is a really big thing too.
I agree, but 3 years is a long time. And we're looking at a Congress where Democrat and Republican, they both basically refuse to do anything. And they kind of just sit there. And, you know, I've really taken note because I consume left-wing media, right? I consume some of these shows, and I've really seen them talk favorably about Marjorie Taylor Greene in a way that I saw them talk favorably about Donald Trump.
Yeah, but it's like, it's only convenient because now she's pushing the narrative. Here's the thing. She's right on this, but she's been wrong on some other things, especially when she was in that whole QAnon stuff and she was doing some wild
like
stuff.
these people fuck kids. So like,
no, but I'm not.
But this is the thing. People, I think they respect the honesty, and I think she is honest in her intention of, hey, I want to help these people. And when was the last time any member of Congress or any senator or any president, for that matter, actually wanted to help people that were victimized?
No, and I agree, and it's very noble of what she's doing. But like when you say presidency, that takes into account a holistic perspective, not just on this one issue that she's talking about here. And I know for you like her a lot. I'm 50-50 on her.
My thing is, all these candidates have issues. You can't find a candidate that doesn't have issues.
She's just a little too right wing for me.
Okay, and that's fair. I still see her as somewhat viable. But you know what? Like, they also throw out Pete Buttigieg as being somewhat viable.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
It's not necessarily me saying like this is what may or will happen. I'm just saying it's interesting, right? Because I think what it takes to run for U.S. president is a sort of unique identity, right? I think we've passed the age of kind of the carbon copy, like old boomer president. I think that's over. I think every president from now on is going to have to be radically interesting enough to the people to drive social media.
They got to be young too.
Yeah,
you gotta be like under, because the last two have just been The Walking Dead.
Yeah, and people are tired of that. They're really tired of that. You talk to people, anyone, they'll say like, are tired of the old people.
We need another Obama esque like age.
Ooh.
It doesn't mean Obama necessarily, but I will say I think Obama was the last reasonable president, and I actually liked him at that time. Second term more than the first one, but.
Look, they're all murderers. They all kill people. It's the job, and it's like, hey, I did a good job. Excuse me.
The pool boy was just floating there.
Let me be clear. I did not kill my chef. I did not do it. Yeah. I mean, like, look, I think we're past the age of uninteresting politicians being in positions of power. And I think that change is going to make, oddball, wacky types more likely to rise to that pinnacle. I do see it.
Gavin Newsom, 2028, guys.
I think that's pretty likely.
It is.
I think
it's scary, but it is.
And if Trump messes up to the degree where he's got the base and total revolt against him, that's going to be really bad for JD.
Here's the thing: not enough people know about Gavin Newsom that it's not totally crazy that there would be a bunch of people that would vote for him.
No, I totally agree.
He's very well spoken on camera. If you guys have ever seen him.
He just looks right. He's like, oh, like
slick back hair.
Well, I mean, I think it's for the women, because I think the women have a crush on him. I think they like him. I think they find him attractive. This is what you hear online. And you're like, does it come down to something that stupid? Yes, it does. Right? Because with Trump, we all literally like fell in love with him because it's like, haha, funny old guy who plays golf.
Right.
Like he makes us, like, he's got funny mannerisms and funny things that he does. And, that's a large part of, like, I find myself looking back at Trump's past behavior and be like, why did I let this slide for so long? And it's just because he's like, oh, funny man. He's very funny. He disarms you with humor, and he's just very likable because of that. But when you look at the actions, you're like, ooh, like, dude, like, you're like lying, like openly, about
like when he moved all the homeless people off the streets, and he tried to like say like, we didn't do that for the Chinese president, and then everybody's like, dude,
talking about Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
And that's pretty crazy. He's like, yeah, and we did it. So
and that is true. They're like, why didn't you do that all the other months that you could have done that the years? But let's get back to this.
Well, really quick. Why does the Chinese president have to come visit California?
I don't know.
Isn't that weird?
I don't know what it was for. I think it was probably some convention.
I find that to be odd.
He didn't come to meet him, I don't think.
No.
These are your average Americans. And you want to know what the Epstein files represent? The cover-up represents to average Americans. It represents the failures of the federal government and Congress to the American people. And that is what people rose up about in 2024. They wanted and demanded transparency from their government, and for Americans finally to be put first. And today, with this vote, we are finally putting these victims and these survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and the cabal of rich, powerful elites that expands not just here in the United States of America, but to other countries as well. We're putting them last. And that is exactly what Americans want. You see, for far too long, Americans have been put last, and they're sick of it. They're sick and tired of it.
Right.
And this is why they don't trust Congress. This is why they don't trust the government. And here's the problem. All of these women who have suffered in shame for years and years and years, women who were terrified, women who were intimidated, women who were threatened, just like Virginia Giuffre. And now she's dead. And these women should have never faced that, for this information to come out. And we, especially the 4 Republican members of the House of Representatives, we should have never faced intimidation and threats for us to get this vote to come to the floor.
This is true.
Never forget, there were 4: Thomas Massie, myself, Nancy Mace, and Lauren Boebert. We had to sign a discharge petition, and we had to fight through intimidation.
And I'll explain.
And we had to
part,
endure it for months to push that discharge petition finally to 218 to get this vote to come out.
Or do you want to go into that? You want to go into that now?
No, I mean, it's just I like everything she's saying here, honestly.
Yeah, me too. And this is what I'm saying about the likability, right?
I like everything she's saying. There, I did not see one thing that was false up there.
Right. And like, when was the last time the government did anything for you? When was the last time the government helped you out, made your neighborhood better, made your roads better, made the whole place safer? When was the last time they did any of that? When was the last time they released, information, all these things the public wants to know, or stop?
It really only
wars?
happens on the state level.
Right. Well, they don't. My point is, like, what do these people actually do when you vote for them and you put them into Washington, D.C.? What do these people actually do? Do they advocate for you? No, they just start to preserve the system. And yeah, I guess that means American life gets to go on as normal, whatever that means, where it just gets gradually worse and worse and worse and worse. But these people, they don't actually do anything. Marjorie Taylor Greene probably doesn't actually do a lot. Like, the system is just designed as to where every year or two or so, they vote for some sort of giant spending package. They push it through. They prolong the life of the government. They have a referendum on the government shutdown. There's a government shutdown every few years. It's normal.
Do you think she's doing a little bit of this for her career too?
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, that's the nature of politics, right?
Yeah.
Like I think this is for real.
I think she's being real, but I also think there's a back end to it too.
Well,
there's never not.
Well, I mean, look, like she's been. You can say that, but at least she's been consistent, right?
Mhm.
Like, Trump said that he wanted the files released, and his back end was not wanting the files released at all. Whereas she stayed consistent on that. So I don't think, like, this is her agenda, right?
Well, I will say, I do appreciate the fact that the first half of this, going into like the 3-minute mark, everything she said is exactly what I have been hearing online, is what we have been saying. It is what the audience has been saying. And it's very interesting that you got to understand all these people consume the same social media as us.
Right.
So I think if we continue making enough noise, guys, keep rattling the cage, I think eventually maybe this is the white pill in me, but I think one day the status quo will change, especially with the new politicians that are coming in, because at a certain point, this narrative wasn't mainstream. There wasn't a lot of talk like this back in, 2015.
But here's the thing. We already had this election on this entire thing, and it was decided that the American people wanted this, right? So I totally agree with you as you're saying it's coming. I would say it's already here. And the fact that they're not acting on honoring their promise getting into office, I think it's going to drive that change that you're talking about even faster, as to where, we may have seen, a trickle up effect or trickle down effect over the next couple of major presidential elections. I think 2028 decides it all.
Oh, 100%. Because it went like this. Trump gets in. All the liberals are like complaining. They're like, me, right. Trump doesn't do good. And then Biden gets in, because I was part of the wave of like, dude, let's get Trump out. Let's get Biden in.
You're Biden bro.
I was a Biden bro for like a hot second, only because he was associated with Obama, not really because of Biden himself. But Biden gets in. We go from right. Now we go to left. Then left took it to fucking extremes. I started seeing transgender stuff all over my feed, and craziness, and you had the invasion of illegals and all the things that came with that. So we swung all the way to the left.
That's what I say.
And then here comes the right. They're like, well, we'll save you. So we kind of like pendulumed back and forth, right? And that pendulum has to eventually go like this.
But it's super weird because like I looked at it when Trump won in November of 2024. I was like, awesome, repeat of 2017. It's going to be great. As in, like, he's not going to do much negative, and that just means life is going to be good in America, right? Because a real good president is a president that really does nothing, right? At the end of the day, like, no new conflicts, no new wars, taxes. But instead, what we got was a weird kind of like reverse Biden. You know, in like Superman or like the Flash, like they have like the Bizarro Superman, or the reverse Flash. Like Biden, you didn't see him. Biden lived in like a little like cave, like 5 stories under the White House. He lived in some sort of like mausoleum under the White House, like a vampire, where you never see him. And it was the auto pen and kind of his administration, and
Jill was running that administration.
Right, Jill, all those people. His who was his Secretary of State? Anthony Blinken. People like that, right? But now we get Trump, and all we see is Trump. Trump is there multiple times a day.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere at once.
Talk to people, and he's just saying the absolute craziest stuff. But not crazy stuff as in like, oh, he called Rosie O'Donnell fat, or oh, he's like making fun of a politician. I see him make fun of a politician. I'm like, oh, that's nothing. He's like threatening fire and fury and war and dissing people and going out crazy, talking about people's dead wives. And you're just like, man, like this is not, it's not sane behavior. Or maybe it is. Maybe you do have to act like that and distract when things are going so terrible. And with Biden, his version of distracting was just not showing up. So there's no one to criticize.
Dude, yeah, but then you're talking about like business, and then you're going to talk about all the private corporation. Actually, today I dealt with a tariff situation.
A little stimulating your economy, help you out.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
So importing like this really big piece of machinery from Germany is going to cost a lot of money. Right now, we're going through the logistics of having to figure out all of the loopholes. Not loopholes. Sorry, it's not a loophole. Not the loopholes. Don't send the black truck. Not the loopholes. It's really all of the things that you have to have, because ever since whatever he passed has made everything exponentially more difficult as far as importing products from overseas. And this is something that's going to help like Americans at the end of the day and keep, you know, IV bags and people in hospitals alive and shit like that. It's not something crazy where I'm importing some cheap thing from China. But ultimately, with this piece of equipment coming in, man, I tell you, this is such a headache now that this has happened. I think it's like there's going to be a tariff on top, but then you also need to know, like, not where just the product was made, but go all the way back to where it was smelted, components, and where the raw material and who touched what, and you have to do back. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because he's trying to prevent like people from like China.
This is the most genius plan ever devised. And you know, there's real questions, and the Supreme Court said, no, you don't have the authority to do these blanket tariffs the way you do.
Yeah, this is true.
And their argument was, so the president doesn't have the power to like generate revenue essentially from it. That's what they're
Congress holds the purse.
Yeah. But he can do it as a form of like emergency. So, you know, there's real debate on that, and there's a lot of things, and you've said in the past, we've talked about it, and you've gone, he doesn't get impeached, there's no way that would ever happen. You know, like it just depends.
Well, everyone's done a little bit of this, right? If you think about it.
He does symbolize, like, he is the final person in the old system. He's like he represents everything about the past 100 years.
I agree with that, because then it's like that was kind of maybe the last wake-up call for like all the other administrations and what they're doing. And maybe in 2028 we do get something different. Let's actually go to that video showing the vote. Did we play this video already?
We did not play this one.
All right, let's play this.
Let's play this one really quick, because this is the one that's been circulating. This is the one that everyone's seen. This is the one where she criticizes Trump.
He says he's going to sign this bill, and do you have confidence that these files will actually be released?
I only take people's actions seriously, no longer words.
And what do you think the president's action?
And I'll tell you, because I wasn't a Johnny come lately to the MAGA train. I was day one 2015, and there's a big difference in those Americans and those that decided to support President Trump later on. And I'll tell you right now, this has been one of the most destructive things to MAGA, is watching the man that we supported early on, 3 elections, for people that stood hours, slept in their cars to go to rallies, have fought for truth and transparency, and to hold what we consider a corrupt government accountable. Watching this actually turn into a fight has ripped MAGA apart.
Yep.
And the only thing that will speak to the powerful, courageous women behind me is when action is actually taken to release these files, and the American people won't tolerate any other bullshit. That's where we are today. Thank you.
I mean, it's crazy, guys. Like, you can see this and say, oh, it's just words. It's just words. You know, it's just someone talking, even if it is a bit like big deal what she's saying. This is like this is the next election. This is the next 2-3 elections. This is everything. This is the death of MAGA. That's what this is.
This is.
Yeah, this is
because Trump actually was the face of MAGA
right
since the beginning.
Right. And his actions, particularly on this one issue, which really represented, you know, he was the guy that was going to go drain the swamp. He said this himself endless amounts of times. Epstein is the swamp. Epstein represents the swamp. So
no, it's not, Rex.
Yeah, and then he never existed, right? And Tim's right. When we get our money, that's how this whole show works. But it's crazy to see her come out, and it's like you say, like she really is politically wheeling and dealing. Like she really is. Like you see her and Massey up there. Every conservative right-leaning person in America has seen that clip. Every single one. And go ahead and talk for a little bit. I'm going to pull up another clip of her going off.
Yeah. Here's the thing. She's putting her money where her mouth is, guys. Right. At the end of the day, like she's standing on business. I'm wondering who she's pissing off with all of this, though. You know, at the end of the day.
Well, I know Trump.
It's not just him, though. You're talking about all of the other people that could who drink that Kool-Aid. And it's very interesting with this whole thing. It's like, we need more of this. You know, it's like people willing to sacrifice their political career to just speak out about what's going on and what's wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, just be a legend. Like, what do you have to lose?
Yeah. I don't care if you've got to martyr yourself. Here's the thing. If enough people do that, you should be okay. I mean, at the end of the day, she's leading a movement. The other 4 individuals that passed this referendum are leading a movement. Is this?
Yeah, this is what I saw. And this was really crazy because she dog whistles really hard here. And she talks about like what being an American is and how she's an American, how she's a patriot. And she goes, an American is not someone who like serves foreign countries.
Yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, you know, taking a dig at Rabbi Trump. You know.
And that's what we did by fighting so hard against the most powerful people in the world, even the President of the United States, in order to make this vote happen today. I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And
you can see she means
I've never owed him anything,
right?
But I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me. And I want to tell you that this only became possible today because the American people whom we serve as representatives here in Congress demanded that this vote happen, and they put more pressure on every single elected politician in this city than has ever been put on them. And today you are going to see probably a unanimous vote in the House to release the Epstein files. But the real fight will happen after that.
Yeah, she's right, guys. And pull up this next clip because she's right about this whole thing being unanimous. The House, go ahead. They voted 427 to 1. And by the way, with the House, there's only 435 seats. So this is as unanimous as you can get. There was one person that said no, and then I want to say 5 people that abstained or something like that that said we're not going to vote on this. But let's go ahead and watch this.
Are 427. The nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
427 to 1.
Yeah. So I want to explain to you guys what this is all about. I'm sure you've probably seen this video or several other videos and the whole 427 number, and you're seeing like bits and pieces of her talking about this petition that they signed. I did like a mini deep dive, so I want you guys to pay attention here because it's going to explain like what this whole scenario is. Yeah, Rupert's fucking shit up in the kitchen out here, but no worries. We'll go ahead and cover this real quick. So with this being said, the bill that was just passed is the Epstein Files Transparency Act, HR 4405. And like they said, it was 427 to 1. And the only vote came from this Republican from Louisiana, Clay Higgins. He was a former captain, oversight committee member. So this reason, what was the reason that he gave? Let me see. I know I have this here. He gave some really weird reason. He basically said something about protection of the victims. And I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, this isn't enough for you to vote no. But I'll find that at some point. But essentially, all you need to know is this one guy voted no. All the rest of them said yes. And then going back to where I was, the original bill like that was trying to be passed, it was frozen. So like you had the speaker, Mike Johnson, he didn't even let this bill hit the floor, guys. And that's the thing that she was talking about, like leadership not even allowing this bill to go through. So basically, I think it was Mike Johnson, but then also Trump was saying things to Mike Johnson to also encourage the behavior. So in order to actually get past something like this, you need what's called a discharge petition, which is like a very rare procedural thing that you actually have to use in order to get past the Speaker of the House. And the rep Thomas Massey, he basically was the one who broke the stalemate with this discharge position. And it requires 218 votes, which is the number that you saw her spit out, in order for them to get this petition by, the rest of Congress, and it forces a vote on the issue. So only 4 Republicans were actually willing to sign this petition at the time, which was Thomas Massey, Lauren Boebert. You had MTG herself, and then you had Nancy Mace. So that's literally only 4 Republicans.
Right.
And the other 200 signatures basically were Democrats, showing that this was very much so not a bipartisan issue at this point, even though you see the 427 to 1. But that's just because you don't want to be seen on the other side saying no to something like this to the public. So at the time, Trump's initial position for this, he urged the Republicans to be like, hey, do not support this bill. He said, this is the new scam that we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Yeah. You better not vote on this bill, guys.
I mean, I know you. You're making a point here, and it's just I step away. I hear you going over the facts, the information. I come back, and I hear you reference our dear leader who has never done anything wrong in his life, President Donald John Trump, and I hear the thing that it's just a hoax, and it makes me short circuit a little bit because like it makes me so mad that's not a joke. We're not playing what he says. He just says it's not real. It's like, Of course, Donald. Of course, you're gonna say that. Like, there's videos of you partying with him in the '80s. But go ahead.
This is true.
Yeah.
But after a certain amount of time, especially with this referendum and petition passing,
Right.
he finally folded. So let's read the article here. I mean, sorry, his Truth Social post.
All right, I'm gonna read this.
And Rex is gonna read this for you guys. It's a very long one. This is what he said 2 days before.
As I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. It's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetuated by the radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. Okay, I can't do it. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein. Man, the way that he like puts things in quotation marks and stuff, it throws me off. It's crazy. Are looking at various Democrat operatives, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc., in their relationship to Epstein, and the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they're legally entitled to. I don't care, in all caps. I don't care, in all caps. All I do care about is Republicans get back on point, also in all caps, which is the economy, affordability, where we are winning big. Our victory.
You see how he used to add that little ad lib in there?
It's crazy. It's like having a guy in a commercial for president. It's really wild.
Keep going.
Yeah, where we are winning big. Our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing, bringing down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars of investment into America, a record. Like he's got to do it, man. The rebuilding of our military, securing our border, deporting criminal illegal aliens, ending men and women's sports, stopping. I'm sorry. It's too much. It's too much, man. Like why do we live in America, man? This is not a real country. Hold on.
Focus. You got
lost
this.
my mind. Stopping transgender for everyone. It's capitalism. Look, I'm against the children on hormone blockers too, but trans for everyone. And he came in with like a sword. He's like, I'm stopping this now. Like the evil monster in charge of the country.
You get a trans.
Like, did he hang the stars in the sky too? Like he just it's beyond anything, folks.
Not on my watch.
It gets me so good, and so much more. No one cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive. Okay,
it's literally a lie.
Yeah, it's not true. Like this guy was a known pariah, and if the Democrats had anything, they would have released it before a landslide election victory. Some members of the Republican Party are being used, and we can't let that happen. I mean, look, it makes me the way the whole thing. I'll finish it. Let's start talking about the Republican Party's record-setting achievements. What have you fucking done? Like retard. What people are talking about this because their lives suck. Like if prices were down and things were great, people would probably go.
Eggs are down, bro.
Like,
do you know what you're talking about?
For real, if things were cheap, Tim, like if it was like miraculous, like everything's gone down like $2-3 in price, like it truly was cheap gas, like he talks about, cheap food, like he talks about, he could sell this, right? I think.
Yeah. I mean, he did inherit the Biden problem, which Biden was the responsibility of why inflation went up to 9%. But for him to sit here and say, like, I solved the inflation problem, it's the Fed. It was the Fed. It was literally the Fed lowering
the person he wants to fire.
It's the Fed. It started increasing rates as soon as before he even got into office. So the Fed is the one that controls that system. He didn't bring down inflation on his own. So
this is embarrassing, and not fall into the Epstein trap, which is actually a curse on the Democrats, not us. Make America great. If it's a curse for the Democrats, then release it.
Well, he's saying, look, we've got nothing to hide, guys. Let's go ahead and vote on this.
Big ups, man. Big ups.
Let's go ahead and vote on this. So he releases the moat that he put up because the only reason why they all were like, we're not going to sign this petition was because the Republicans have loyalty to their party and they have loyalty to the president.
Dude, the Republicans have loyalty to losing elections. That's what they have loyalty to. Like the Democrats, they actually have that party mindset, but with the Republicans, their agenda is literally to get in power and do nothing. This is what they do. And like we're looking at Trump do nothing but fight, essentially, like start wars and global conflicts and economic wars and economic conflicts.
Yep.
They don't do anything constructive. At least the Democrats move towards their vision of what they want the world to be.
Yeah,
right?
but if it's their world where it's rainbows and fucking illegals getting credit cards, then I don't want it. I don't want to be part of that world.
You don't support the ancient hero Donald Trump who stopped transgender for everyone, whatever that means. That's just like he gets to just say stuff, man.
Man, I'm in a limbo. That's what I'm in right now. I'm pretty sure the rest of the world is
I had another clip of Massey actually talking about the vote. I believe this is after it's passed and whatnot.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to play this. This is pretty interesting stuff right here. You know, he's another one like MTG, and you know, I think it's very astute, Tim, that you make the point of like the really angling here, because like I saw it and I was very happy about what they're saying. They're definitely poisoning themselves for future elections.
Well, he got tired of me winning, so he joined our side. I have no animosity toward him. I regret that it got personal for some folks, but it never has for me. It's always been about the survivors.
What do you think of this reversal? I mean, after months of fighting you.
Well, the speaker, the attorney general, the FBI director, the president, and the vice president could have saved us all this time and embarrassment, frankly, for our own party if they'd just done the right thing 4 months ago.
You don't believe him, Congressman? I mean, for weeks he's been pushing against this. Now he says he supports it. Do you buy it?
He's only supporting it because the president told him to support it.
No,
that's what Mike Johnson does.
No, I'm talking about do you buy President
Ooh,
Trump?
shots fired at the Speaker of the House. All he does is what Trump wants him to do, which
this is true though.
Yeah,
that is true.
And it's not supposed to work that way.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Mike Johnson's not on the list. He's been basically put in a position of power, and you've got daddy above you, and you better fall in line.
That's 100% correct.
He wants the House to pass this resolution.
Well, I'm concerned that now he's opening a flurry of investigations, and I believe they may be trying to use those investigations as a predicate for not releasing the files. That's my concern.
You think they'll try to block it?
Well, they will. I'm afraid they're going to try to use a provision of the law that allows you not to release these materials if they're subject of an ongoing investigation and would harm, and the release of which would harm the ongoing investigation.
So what do you think this is all
That's
about
scary.
for President Trump? First, he
That's scary. That right there is that's the card he's holding in his back pocket, which is why he's letting
to the viewers.
All right, look, I was like, Trump's got to have that Trump card. He's got to have something that allows him to like allow them to go ahead and do this. Yeah. He's trying to play 4D chess. He's not just going to say, let's go and do this and know that like if his name is truly out there and it gets out to the open, he knows that he's got time. But what he just said there with the fact that you can shut this whole thing down if it basically you're making that announcement and releasing to the public actually impedes the investigation itself, because technically this whole Epstein case is still technically ongoing, right? As far as Maxwell,
I mean, what the fuck does that mean? like it's ongoing. I guess that's what
you could put air quotations around it, but I mean, we all know what's happened. But again, there's still a version of this because Ghislaine is still, I think, appealing and doing all these other things. So they
she'll
could
be out of jail in 5 years. Like she'll be a work release or something,
Man, dude.
I mean, and look at Massey here. He really looks like Unk, doesn't he?
Dude, look at him. He's tired. Yeah, you can see it on his face. This man's been through hell the last 4 months just trying to get this bill passed.
He's beat up. He's beat up. And they got a guy who's like 5'7" and a guy that's like 6'4".
was blocking this, pushing Republicans to block this for so long. Now he's reversing course, and he has the power to release the full files anyway.
Well, it's pretty simple. For 4 months, he thought the best thing for him was to keep the files secret, and somebody convinced him that the best thing for him was to release the files. And if they're serious about it, they should release them right now.
It's always a cop car.
Why do you think he is working so hard not to get them released for so many months? What do you think the real reason is?
These files implicate billionaires and friends of him,
Yep.
of his, and political donors.
Yep.
That he's trying to protect. And Epstein also had close ties to our own intelligence agencies
Yep.
and Israel's intelligence agencies. That's why there's so much effort in trying to stop this. And I do believe they'll try to stop it somewhere else. And that's going to backfire on them too.
So the president's saying he'll sign it.
It's so
he's right about that.
it's so crazy to see the politicians now, even if it's just Massey, talk about American intelligence and Israeli intelligence and, you know, Epstein's connection, all that, because that's where this all really is, right? It's like Epstein was an actor that worked kind of as a cutout for these global intelligence agencies to build the global blackmail network and get everyone implicated, right?
Right.
And Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, was buried with like the absolute like Purple Heart honors, the highest level honors you can get at the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem, right? He was given like a hero's funeral by the IDF because of his work with them and with the Mossad, right? So he's got all these ties, he's got all these connections, he's connected to a bunch of billionaire and millionaire Zionists, you name it. This guy, when he dies in 2019, he dies under Trump's watch. Trump is president.
Yeah, that's true.
When
He
dies.
is president.
So, you know, you can say, oh, it's all going to be redacted. What are we actually going to see? You know, any information that comes out is going to point to the truth of this whole story. And I think that everyone kind of understands the real story now.
Yeah, and I love what he said at the end. I absolutely love what he said at the end.
What
Because he's like,
was it?
he said, they're going to go and try to stop this still because there's too many people that are implicated that are basically in positions of power and their friends. But the thing that he really hit home with was he was like, look, they'll try to stop it somewhere else, but it'll backfire.
Yes.
Because it's the same thing that backfired when they had that 1 minute of the tape that they said, oh, well, there's no footage there. They reset themselves and there's a technical glitch. And
yeah, it looks like from like the 90s when you like actually physically cut the tape. Like they have the best surveillance technology in the world. They can see anyone at any time. They can spy on you. They can do whatever. Oh, so is it our like maximum security jail? We don't have video of this. Like it's this. It's outrageous. All right.
And then they come out, they backpedal. They released the 1 minute, and the 1 minute literally shows a guy who no one knows about. There's no information on him walking down the stairs in that 1 minute of frame.
He killed him. He killed Epstein, and people are like, Epstein's still alive. And I'm like, bro, like, no, they killed.
Yeah,
the bro is dead.
But you see that backfired. That made. Here's the thing. Look, if you're suspicious, the worst thing you can do is do more suspicious things.
Right.
Right. So if they try to shut this down somewhere else, people are like, why are you trying so hard not to have this released?
And the most suspicious thing of all is to run on this as one of the keystone issues of your election.
You're right.
And then once you get into power, you're like, oh, like this isn't real.
So then that actually you're hitting on something that I'm confused about. Here's the thing. Did you think that Trump do you think like when Trump was running on this, he didn't think he was in the files to begin with? Because that's the only solution. That's the only situation I could see him ever running on something like this.
I mean, yeah, maybe it's all so complicated. You know, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. You know,
but that's the all like who. It's like you commit a robbery,
right,
and you kill a guy,
right,
and then they're doing an investigation, and you promise to put all the people that helped you do the robbery in jail. Like it doesn't make any sense.
No, it's a good analogy. You're right, and I mean, I think he was never going to release it, right? But I think that the answer to your question is, I think he believed his personal magnetism and his cult of personality was so strong, could survive anything. And what we're seeing clearly is that's not true for a large portion of his base. I think it's about 30% of people are just like, I cannot do this. I think the large majority of the Trump people are still the Trump people, ride or die. It's the same cult that the Democrats have in that respect. But enough of the base has said, nah, like, fuck this. You're lying to us. We can't support you anymore. Like, you ran on this and you betrayed us. Enough of the base has said no. And it's radicalized the other side so much as to where I don't see them winning any elections.
You know why? Because it has to do with kids.
Right.
The issue is so bad that like it's like go bomb this place and we'll argue about that. But when kids are involved, they're really pushing hard on this.
I mean,
it's
like your president might be implicated in like screwing a minor. Like there's nothing comparable. There's nothing worse than that in the entire world. There's nothing worse. Like I don't care if Trump sucked Bubba. Like that's not that big a deal. It is what it is, man. Just you come out and you say it is what it is. Just stop the war, stop the death. But if they have Trump doing stuff to, the unmentionable, like you can never come back from it. So it's very interesting, and all of it, sadly, it points to the darkest version of events being the true.
You're right.
Version.
Do you want to continue?
Yeah,
this?
I want to keep playing this. Let's go.
Don't buy that.
No, I think he'll sign it. I want to be there at the signing party.
Think he'll be invited?
I've never seen somebody not get invited to sign their own bill.
But what about just a personal nature of this? I mean, again, he goes after you, your wife, calls Marjorie Taylor Greene a traitor.
Let's be clear, he went after my late wife and my current wife.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a new low for him, but again, we laughed it off. It's more to his detriment than mine that he, put something like that out. But I think it was beyond the pale. And if that's what it took for him to go that far to realize he needs to support this instead of opposing it, then that's okay.
And
by the way,
but see, here's the thing. I know we keep pausing it. I don't think Trump's not that dumb. No way.
my wife
Well, he's not that stupid.
laughed about it. She did tell me to invite Trump to the wedding, and I didn't. So she blames me for him getting mad.
He wouldn't.
Are you optimistic
No, he never
this will
go.
pass tomorrow? Yeah, I think it's going to pass. I think I
Invite
think
Trump
it's
to
gonna
the
pass with
wedding.
a huge
That's nice.
majority.
That like seriously, like
Speaker
Trump
support
would.
it?
Trump wants to kill mass.
I think
He wants to, like, wear his
begrudgingly
skin.
he has to at this point.
Congressman, you obviously had your differences with President Trump in the past, but Congressman Greene was one of his closest allies, one of his strongest supporters. What do you make of the fact that over the Epstein files, it prompted this such a public and searing breakup?
Well, Marjorie represents the base. I mean, she represents what we campaigned on.
Yes.
More so than me, even the populist movement that, brought Trump into the White House. And when he told his supporters that they're no longer his supporters if they still want the Epstein files released, he lost a lot of supporters, but Marjorie
wild.
didn't. And she...
Yeah, we forget
that one
about
is wild.
these things.
Yeah.
This is what I was saying about Trump just throwing so much stuff
There's
out
so
there.
much stuff,
Like,
that you forget.
I don't want to even have to find that clip, but I'll find it and we'll play it on the next show. Like, yeah, you're not my supporters if you want this released.
You're not my supporter if you want to catch predators.
It's literally, and pardon my French, I know, I'm sorry I curse it is what it is, but like this is literally what he's saying. Fuck you, suck my dick. That's what he's saying. Like
In plain English.
You were my people for a decade. I led you on. I made you trust me. Fuck you. You don't get this released. It is what it is, and you don't get this identity anymore. So if you want the identity of being a MAGA person, you now call this a hoax.
Yeah, you have to support pedos.
Right. I mean, no American wants that. No American.
No, not at all.
But a little bit more, and then we'll go.
She's in favor of finding justice for the survivors. And so she won the argument.
Do you think that President Trump has lost his touch on the MAGA base? Has lost his understanding of the MAGA base?
I think on aspects of fiscal responsibility, on aspects of starting wars overseas and getting into regime change, and on this case of releasing the Epstein files, I think he has strayed away from the things that he campaigned on.
Ooh, yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm right there, dude. Like
that's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough.
I mean, that's like my ideology all boiled down. It's like he didn't do what he was elected to do.
Dude, it's nice hearing a congressperson say that. That's on the team that's supposed to be in power right now.
Yeah, it is nice to see it, but you see how they bully these people. They bully Massey, they bully Marjorie Taylor Greene, but it looks like now there may be some motion. They may actually release.
Yeah,
something.
so let me explain a little bit of what happens now that the bill has passed, guys. So the DOJ has 30 days after the bill is signed. This still has to go through the Senate. They still need a 60-40 majority. So don't think that it's over. The House definitely vote on this. There could be other things that happen in between before Congress votes in the Senate. They're also saying something like what am I?
What are you looking for?
So I'm just trying to remember. Okay, so yeah, they need 60 votes. And then basically the Senate Majority Leader, he said that the Senate could take this up pretty fairly quickly. But
What does that mean? 6 months?
Yeah, we'll see. But the Speaker, Mike Johnson, actually wants to correct the bill, meaning that they want to add like stronger protections. They want to clarify the redaction guidelines and exposing the people who weren't accused
They
of
want to
wrongdoing.
cut up the bill and make
Yeah.
it impotent.
But here's the thing: if anything changes in the bill, it has to go back all over again.
Yeah, so like this is how they play the game: is they say, okay, yeah, you can vote on this thing.
Right.
It'll be in committee for 10 years.
Right. If you change anything on that bill, guys, it goes back to the House to vote again and through all the things. And here's the thing with this: the other things that they're trying to say is they're saying, okay, with this, when they release it, all records have to be posted publicly. They have to be searchable, downloadable, easily navigable, and there's a database for the general public to access.
Okay.
This is a good thing. The release is not discretionary. It is a legal obligation with a deadline. So the Attorney General can only redact victim identities, minors, sexually explicit content involving the minors, and then info that would compromise active investigations. And that's the thing that Massey's talking about here. That's the scary part. It's like that's very broad,
Right.
and we don't know what that means as far as protecting the ongoing investigation. There's a lot of wiggle room for that one. And then there's also another clause in there that says like they're able to redact it if it's a national security threat. How do you deem that? What's the guidelines for that?
This person makes so much money, it's a tax interest. We can't have that person. That person's the president, and it's Trump. We can't.
Yeah,
like
that's
I mean,
true.
that's why he agreed to it, bro. He's like, yeah, just blow my name is cool.
Everybody else is on there. Just blow out this guy right here. DJT.
It's not hard. You just do one little line. You know, it's just one little thing you gotta get rid of. It's my name.
Right. So the bill explicitly bans the redactions to protect powerful people. So there's no withholding due to embarrassment, no withholding due to like reputation and the harm to your reputation, or no withholding due to political sensitivity. So that might hit on what you're talking about
but
there.
national security, like that's set up for that's like Trump. Like we can't destabilize everything.
But like low key, let's say Trump is implicated in that hurts America. And I think they would never allow that to happen.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. And you know what? Like, look, like just give us some blood, right? At least if you're going to tell us that it's a hoax that never existed, well, if you give us some blood, if we're able to get that out of them, then their entire thesis statement is a lie.
Right.
Because we can say, hey, there's meat on this bone. You said there was no meat on this bone. You said this wasn't real. You redacted a million things. You still gave us like 5 or 6 people. Like that just means all the 500 other things you redacted are just like there's more people, right? So
100%.
I want to see this go through, not in the sense as of where I think, oh, like this is the true smoking gun, like this is the Epstein thing solved. We're gonna know it all. No, I want to see something come out of this, and then you know what? If they obfuscate, if they hide, if they don't reveal, like if they don't reveal the real thing behind it, at least we can go and say, hey, like there's something here that we were shown and that we weren't able to fully investigate because everything was redacted. Like I don't have any pie in the sky dreams anymore for what I expect.
They shoot.
Oh, they're gonna release it. Oh, we're gonna stop illegal immigration. Oh, we're gonna stop the wars. I've been lied to.
Those dreams have died a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
You gotta keep dreaming though.
I know.
It's America.
You got to keep dreaming and voting Republican.
Now, here's the thing about this. This only applies to unclassifying the DOJ holdings. It doesn't apply to the CIA, FBI, NSA, or State Department to declassify their intelligence and what they might know. I don't know. It's all a mess. I don't know. I don't know who has what the DOJ has. I don't know what FBI has. I don't know. But like the 30-day clock is pretty rigid. And here's the reason why that one dude, Clay Higgins, voted no. So weird. His core argument was this bill injures thousands of innocent people and witnesses and alibis and family members and abandons 250 years of criminal justice procedure.
The pedophiles?
This is what he's saying, man. And he's like, a rabid media will weaponize these names.
Boo-hoo.
And then he also emphasizes that the Oversight Committee has already released 60,000 plus pages. Many of the people mentioned inside of those documents have nothing to do with Epstein's crimes. And then the last thing he says is like those individuals could not be the individuals who are involved in something could be doxxed, harassed, or falsely implicated. So he's like, okay, he supports transparency, but with protections. And it's just not adding up.
I think if
I
think if the documents came out and they're like, there was a chef here on the plane and it was at this time, I don't think people are going to be mad about that or dox the guy or come after him.
Care about
I
him.
think people are like, oh, the billionaire who was on the plane that owns everything. Yeah,
it's the man who touched the girl or implicated the entire process.
It's not that complicated. He wasn't holding bingo contests, right? He was taking people to sleep with sex operatives that he abused and controlled.
Yep.
Right.
100%.
And like it really is just the names. It's like who's on the video. Like, it's not that hard. It's pretty easy to do. Just give us the names. Like seriously, just give us the names. Yeah. Give us the names. Give us the names. Scanning for the names. You got to give us the names now. Like this is what everyone wants. Shut down infrastructure. Ship everything to China. This is all people want. Look at this person.
It's too outlandish for them.
Right.
So let's go ahead and pull up this video. Now, you guys have heard me talk about this little book, the address book of Jeffrey Epstein and who's in there. You're going to be shocked by some of the names that are in this book. And listen and pay close attention to this video. We won't cover the entire video, but at least the first 3 minutes has some good meat for you guys to chew on. So pay attention.
This is Donald Trump's phone number in Jeffrey Epstein's personal little black book from the 1990s. In 2021, Business Insider obtained an address book no one had ever seen before.
Jeffrey Epstein got away with what he got away with because of who was in his address book.
What's interesting for us about this book is a new cast of characters who we didn't previously know had interactions with or did business with him.
While the Trump administration says it won't disclose more files on Epstein, the older address book reminds us of Epstein's vast connections to prominent figures, including Melania Trump's best friend, Christopher Cuomo's wife, and an advisor in the first Trump administration.
Our first thought was to just do whatever we could to verify that it was real. We've obtained a copy of an address book that we believe belonged to Jeffrey Epstein.
The research, guys.
And your name and contact information are listed in the book.
I didn't do anything.
I'm a reporter for Insider. I'm just calling everybody who's in this address book who has not previously been publicly associated.
Imagine being one of these people, like you just get a random call and you're like, I thought this book was buried a long time ago. Now, not everybody on the list has to be somebody who's dealing.
I'm a god, no.
Not everybody is implicated. Not all of them are touching little girls. It could literally be like
Epstein paid me good money to irrigate this front lawn, and I'm going to do it.
Associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
We need to make sure it was a real artifact that really represented something about Jeffrey Epstein and his connections to people.
The story is not one that sounds exactly believable. Someone dropped Jeffrey Epstein's address book in the 90s and now belongs to some guy who lives on a farm in Vermont.
Absolutely nuts.
You buy that at fucking Storage Wars. You find that in a unit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very careful not to put my fingerprints on the book, not to put any sort of DNA or hair or anything like that.
Who are you?
My name is Christopher Halali.
That's who he is.
Where should I look? I currently live on my wife's farm. As a student of national security issues, imperialism, I was fascinated by the Jeffrey Epstein case. There are names that are highlighted, and I think one of the most notable highlighted names is former President Donald Trump.
I don't know him.
My name is Denise Ondeko. Ta-da. And I believe I found the book sometime in the 90s. Walking along Fifth Avenue, and I just noticed a small black book on the sidewalk.
Rip.
So you're pretty sure that it was somewhere between 54?
Yes, it could have been here or there.
We have spoken extensively with Denise, and we found her story to be credible.
I saw the book, picked it up, glanced through it. Damn. It was filled with names like Kennedy, Rockefeller, Trump, etc. And it was like, whoa, this is bizarre. So I kept it for the New York City artifact that it was.
Did you know who Jeffrey Epstein was at the time?
No. When I rediscovered the book last year, it was like, holy, it's Jeffrey Epstein.
A Manhattan billionaire arrested yesterday on federal sex trafficking charges.
Accusations from indecent
Well,
exposure.
so they called him a billionaire?
He technically was a billionaire, but he was a billionaire. Yeah, I mean, he was a billionaire. He owned like an entire like block of New York. Like his apartment was an entire corner and like some change. But like again, that's Wexler's money.
Wow.
Because he has power of attorney. But then at a certain point, he's probably making real money and real deals because now he had enough money to like go into these rooms, have these conversations, strike these deals, and people are paying him to do all types of stuff.
We work, we make money. You think you're gonna have that apartment if you work for the next like 40 years, maybe.
Gotta be
right
at that time too, and having it now, you've got to be a billionaire.
Right.
That's the only way.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wild.
To inappropriate touching to rape.
I went to tips at New York Times. I sent something to Rachel Maddow. I just figured nobody was interested.
Yeah, they're not going to cover it.
Come the end of November, I
Should've
really
sent it
needed
to my
brakes
dad.
for my car and I didn't have enough money. And I thought, what the hell?
Sold it for brakes.
Jeffrey Epstein, you paid for my brakes. So I put it on eBay.
It was right there for everybody to see. Most people would think it's a fake or a forgery. I took the risk.
Wow.
When I received the book in the mail, my heart was nearly jumping out of my...
How much do you think they paid for his book now? How much do you think this is?
Like worth now?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's real, which it appears to be real, like this is the 6-figure range,
Yeah.
I would say for sure.
This guy's so lucky.
my chest, I felt like Indiana Jones. It's a dark book. It's a book that I think has a lot of suffering behind it, a lot of pain, a lot of evil, some would say. I felt that it was important for people to see who Epstein knew and what sort of network of power was behind him. Right now, I'm packaging the book for forensic analysis.
Bro has autism.
And handing it off to
Severe
journalists. If it comes back and it's not authentic,
God bless him, though.
It's a pretty awesome forgery, I have to say.
One of the moments in the public waking up to the magnitude of his crimes was the publication in 2015 of an address book belonging to Jeffrey Epstein. And what was stunning about it was it contained the names of Donald Trump and Mick Jagger, Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton. And it sort of woke people up to the fact that this was a guy who had access to the House of Power.
Our reporting also found about 220 new names that didn't appear in this other address book.
If someone were to concoct a fake book to trick journalists, they would start by taking those names from the other public little black book and putting them in this one. So we start by sort of correlating the names, and then we just started calling people in the book whose names have not been previously associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
Hi, I'm trying to reach Elena Kayem.
This is she.
Hi, I'm calling for Suzanne Urcha. Would you be able to connect me with her?
For who?
I'm trying to reach Joan Severance.
I don't currently represent Joan. The number you dialed is not in service.
I'm trying to reach Michael Cutlip.
This is he.
Elena Barmakova.
Damn.
I'm working on a story about an address book
That we believe belonged to Jeffrey Epstein.
Do you mind if I'm recording this call?
I do mind.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Guilty.
Yeah, I haven't seen or spoken to Jeffrey since the late 90s.
For them to say, yes, I knew him in the 90s, gives credence to the idea that the book is real.
It's not the case that everybody who was in his address book was an enabler of Jeffrey Epstein. It's more adding to the body of knowledge to keep chipping away at the mystery.
She was not interested in speaking.
These are some of the prominent names we reached out to. None of them had ever been publicly associated with Epstein before.
Suzanne Urcha, Melania Trump's best friend. She later married Woody Johnson, who now owns the New York Jets.
Carl Icahn, special advisor to Donald Trump during his presidency.
Christina Grieven, the wife of Christopher Cuomo.
Jill Harth accused Donald Trump of sexual assault.
Stephen Ratner led Barack Obama's efforts to resuscitate Detroit.
Marty Peretz, longtime mentor to former Vice President Al Gore. Les Gelb was a legendary New York Times columnist. Sandy Warner was the chairman and CEO of JP Morgan until 2000. Billionaire John Katzimatidis, who told us that he offered Epstein a ride and Epstein sent him a 3-foot bottle of champagne and things.
Now, I do see some people talking about it's printed and it's not handwritten. But if you have a lot of money, I'm sure you could get this printed. And it's not unreasonable to ask why it's printed. What do you think about that?
I mean, here's the thing, right? I mean, if it's got the correct phone numbers in it for some of these people,
That's what I'm
and that would lead to it probably being true, right? I mean, look, everyone says everything's fake news, or everyone says this, that, the other thing. I just like, we know, like, they're all guilty anyway. So like I'm just
Right
on it at this level.
Let's go ahead and go to the other video. It's interesting because the black book, look, whether you believe it or not, I think it has enough meat on it. Now, not everybody who's in that book is implicated, like I was saying earlier, but it just, again, all I needed to see was Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. I just needed to make sure that those two people were implicated on this. So.
Even in death, the secrets of Jeffrey Epstein remain tightly guarded. But earlier this year, I spearheaded a wired investigation that uncovered the data of almost 200 mobile phones belonging to visitors to his infamous pedophile island. The data was so precise, we were able to map the paths of these visitors to within centimeters, including their neighborhoods, buildings of origins, and the paths they took to get to the island. These digital trails document the numerous trips of wealthy and influential individuals seemingly undeterred by Epstein's status as a convicted sex offender. Wired's analysis of the data is ongoing, and it raises profound questions about privacy and surveillance. This is Epstein Island's secret data on the grid. This is Little St. James, aka Epstein Island. These red dots on the map represent some of the 11,279 coordinates I obtained. They were left exposed online by a location data broker with ties to the Defense Department called Near Intelligence. Between 2016 and Epstein's final arrest in 2019, Near collected data on more than 200 cell phones that visited the island. We don't know why they did that or which client or prospective client of Near decided to query the data in this way to produce the maps. But the maps you'll see in this video show where visitors to Epstein Island spent most of their time. Let's take a step back. You might be wondering, where is Epstein Island anyways? Well, it's here. Little St. James is a private island that is part of the U.S. Virgin Islands, an unincorporated territory of the United States in the Caribbean Sea. Epstein purchased Little St. James in 1998 for $7.95 million. It's about 71 acres, the size of 54 football fields. He made the island his primary residence and soon after began welcoming visitors and throwing infamous parties where he was accused of having groomed, sexually assaulted, and trafficked untold numbers of women and girls. The maps of the data collected by Near, and which we at Wired recreated here, indicate the most visited spots on the island. From the main house here with the pool, to the beaches and the large sundial, it's all on display, including the enigmatic Hilltop Temple site over here, which has been the focal point in speculations about Epstein's mysterious activities on the island. But the tracking of phones wasn't contained to Little St. James. Surveillance continued long after the visitors left. The data reveals the locations of visitors 30 minutes before and after arriving on the island, which shows us the exact routes everyone took to get there. Some landed here, at the Cyril E. King Airport on neighboring St. Thomas Island. With its private jet and VIP terminals, it was the go-to hub for Epstein's 200-seater Boeing 727 plane dubbed Lolita Express. We see data points clustered at various area beaches, hotels, and luxury resorts, including.
Now let's go look at this airplane that they're talking about. This is what we were kind of hinting towards earlier. This is creepy. So this is what it looks like.
That thing.
Boeing 727. How many people can that fit? Boeing.
I mean, it looks like that thing can fit like 30, 40 people if you look at the interior of it.
Okay, so it is looking like, come on now. Typically 106 to 129 passengers.
That's a lot.
Now,
That's not a customized one.
Oh, I think he has a 200. So yeah, they're right. 155 to 189. But like that's if you had like just the straight chairs across. But he has, as you can see, beds. Look at this.
Look how creepy that is, guys. A lot of fun times happening. He's like, what is that? A graham cracker wall?
I wouldn't touch any of that.
That's the circle jerk area.
Oh my God. So cryptic.
It's very creepy. But yeah, you know, like I didn't know what the plane actually looked like. And then you look at this, you're like, oh man, that's real grimy.
And the chairs are brown, so you don't even know what kind of stains and shit
That's
are
right,
on
it's
that.
probably for all the blood.
Nasty. Yeah. Was there any other photos of that? Oh, that's his apartment.
So that's
the
the money right there. Damn, that's
one of his apartments.
That's a whole thing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is pretty insane.
Yeah. So, like, here's the thing. Let's go back up to the photos. Just look at like you just like when I look at these photos, it's like you get like a flashback in time. Like this is in pristine condition, guys, from when he was taking charters. They still have it set up like this. But just like imagine you're like a little 12-year-old, 13-year-old girl, and you're just like on this private jet with this fucking dingy ass
The right
bed.
setting for it, I will say.
Yeah, you're fucking. You don't know who Bill Clinton could probably be on this couch here doing something nasty.
Little girl, you want to be my friend?
Yeah, it's so gross. And then here is like all the fucking world leaders plotting to just demise when they got like a little girl on their lap. Like it's just grotesque. And then like these people are all, you know, the whole thing that makes this whole thing sick is imagine like all the laughing, all the fun, all the joking these guys did.
Yeah.
Maybe they're smoking here, playing card games, and then you've got like a little 13-year-old back here just waiting for you to be done. Like it's just,
it's beyond anything.
It's beyond anything. And you know, it kind of just makes you understand, like we were talking about last time. Sometimes the bad people do rise up to the top because they have a little bit of like that psychopath, sociopath to actually do the things it takes to get there.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, you know, and this is why we pull up the images and we show you the plane so you can visualize it. And we show people the maps, like where this place actually was and what it actually looked like for Epstein Island, the temple and whatnot. People go, oh, like I've seen this before. I've seen this before. No, really think about it. Our political elite and our elite in general, our rich people in the country, all partied with this dude, abused children with this dude, hung out with this dude on his island. And it's like you said, they were all laughing, just hanging out like it was normal.
Like
right?
it was normal.
And that's the kind of normalcy bias that they want to impart onto us as well. This whole situation is not okay. It's not normal. It's wrong. And the American people voted against it. But we're still kind of, it's just, push it under the rug, even today.
Yeah.
So,
but you have to have something wrong up here in order to even constitute doing something like this,
100%.
Especially if you're not born into like following the Prophet Muhammad and doing all that crazy shit from a young age. Like most of these people are Christians that were probably raised in Christian households.
All these people don't believe in anything but money in themselves. That's what these people believe in. Like full stop. And people like that should not be leading your society, because the society that's not based off people caring and wanting a better future, that's based off money and killing and raping, really, or graping, I guess I should say. Like this is how we ended up to where we were, where America is a war economy. This is how we ended up where we were, is where people really don't have rights. This is how we ended up where we were, where the president is the king. It's because over and over and over again, people like Epstein were used by the real power, the real controllers, the intelligence agencies across the world to run our government.
Yeah.
And they can trust in the American people to not visualize the situation and therefore not to care about it. And you know, that's what we talk about here on the gray area.
Oh, we won't stop talking about these developments.
And there's going to be more. There's going to be
if they shut down this shit in the Senate, if they do anything to basically stop the train on the tracks, best believe we are coming up on this show and we're talking about it like everybody else. Oh, X is going to have tons of fun if something like that happened.
We're going to see. We're going to cover it all. I mean, do you want to play the rest of that video, or you got anything else you want to say?
I mean, we could read some of the comments. I think we should show some people some love out here.
Yeah, bomb the island from Guitar Psyop.
Well, it's probably an island that was not just only his stuff now. They probably sold it off to somebody.
Who wants Epstein Island? Someone even worse. They're demonic. Eyes Wide Shut was a documentary. The Taxi Can Take the Marines.
Holy poop.
You can use code CBD for 40%.
So many
off at best
memoirs
orders.
on that mention. What is it? Okay, keep going.
Take Over the Island. Wired is fake news. You opening the phones? Not tonight. Tonight we're just doing a short show. Gas is only down a nickel in last month at the station I work at, but smokes went up about 35, 60 cents, depending on the brand. Camels are over $10. Yeah, but I mean, that's normal. That's okay. I mean, hey.
I think they should be taxed more.
You serious? I was joking. Wow. Okay.
I like good things for good people.
All right.
I think this would be good. That's the whole reason why they came out the tax, right?
Yeah. Rex demands perfection, which does not exist. Okay. All right. It does not exist. In all seriousness, Rex is 100% correct. That's always true.
Thank you, New Griper.
Yeah. This is the golden age and you will enjoy it. Thank you for your attention to this matter, DJT. Yeah. I mean, like that's a joke, but like, seriously, that's what we're told. That's what they say.
This is the roaring 20s. Didn't you know?
Yeah.
This is the roaring 20s.
Best time ever. Inflation is practically nothing. I guess it is corporate greed, like the left says. Then that's what I thought too. A lot of people talking to each other in here.
This is good. We're a community.
Less to us, but more people talking to each other.
We're a community.
America is Crime Incorporated. I'd hit it kind of feeling older woman only if she doesn't smell funny.
Are you talking about MTG?
Yeah, thanks, T-Blet.
Low key though, T-Blet, you could be on to something.
It's not good, guys. It's not good. Going down the road here. Biden died before he took office. They use clones. Yes. Tim was just telling me off show how much he loves conspiracy theories. Yeah, this is true. We're gonna do a whole show about it. We're talking about it for 3 hours.
RFIDs and shit, man.
They use clones and body doubles to replace him. And
okay, the thing I will say is they have there's actually proof about body doubles, and they've done them. And like this former FBI lady who used to be in charge of the program did one.
Talking about the mask?
Where she made one of Bush. Like that's not a conspiracy theory.
No,
that's a real thing.
I was literally about to bring that up. Have you heard about this? But you already
no. I did my homework on that one. Like the face thing, clones. Maybe I don't know.
It's all true. It's all real. It's all.
Somebody told me earlier I have to basically denounce and say that 9/11 was an inside job in order to be part of the club. So
the code is CBD. If you go to jonescbd.com and you can use code CBD to get 40% off your order. Just responding to someone else in there.
Oh yeah.
Trying to sell that. But yeah. It's all incredibly hilarious how they expect us to just act like all this is normal. We're going to keep doing the breaking coverage, and we really had fun tonight. And thank you for joining us here on the Gray Area.
Yeah, tonight was going to be a little bit of a shorter one. Both of us are low.
Yeah, I got some family stuff going on in general, and I had to catch up on work. But we're going to be here Tuesday, Thursday, and then Sunday, of course, to give you guys the best show ever.
And then we'll do another show on Tuesday, probably not Thursday and Sunday of the following week, Thanksgiving. I know everybody needs a little turkey. I'll be out of town, but
okay. All right.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll still be here for you guys this week and part of next week. But we still love you guys. Still working on figuring out what Sunday's deep dive is. Maybe you guys throw a couple comments in there and tell me what you guys want to cover. I still haven't decided.
I want to do COVID. I'm going to contribute to it.
You want to do COVID?
I want to do a COVID one because people have forgotten about that time period.
Okay, yeah.
But there is veracity to say like Trump is better than Biden because like we're gonna look at that time period.
We got to remember that because that was what caused me to to come back to the center here. So,
Joe Biden.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We had a lot of fun. Tonight was the Epstein special. Be sure to tune in on Thursday. If you guys see some clips out there, don't be shy. Repost them, them.
Repost them, and please follow Trues and Tim on X. Thank you for joining us here tonight.
Take care, guys.